Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the 1860 Munich Road to Glory career mode. And as you guys remember, we had a quite successful start to the season, grabbed 4 wins and 1 draw, and sit atop of the league table. Now, before we continue on with this episode, I do want to introduce the youth department as it is a central part of our career mode. So, first thing I want to note is that we have 2 youth scouts because of the core DNA traits we picked. Both of them are able to scout Central Europe, but that's fine because I'm quite content with most of my talent coming from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Slovenia. That seems quite realistic. Now, when we started the career mode, we had 1 scout, but he was 4 stars. Unfortunately, we are only able to employ 3-star scouts, so I had to fire him, hire a new scout. I hired an Austrian, but I had to send him to Germany because the first scout is always required to scout your home nation. So I'm looking for defensive-minded German players with this Austrian scout. I also hired a 3-star Swiss scout, and I'm looking for Swiss attackers. I can only send scouting trips for 6 months, no more, because of the core DNA traits that I have. So that's how I set that up. In terms of the already existing youth players in the youth academy, I can pick 1 out of the 6 that I had. I chose to pick this right midfielder, Łukasz Baran, mainly because of his potential. Quite high, decent work rate, skill moves weak for all that. Now, if you look at his stats, he doesn't really fit any of our positions. However, he does have some good stats in the dribbling department. His agility, his balance is good. I feel like he can grow into perhaps that central attacking midfielder role, that Mazzala. Perhaps we can mold him into something. He looks okay. It's also transfer deadline day, guys, so I'm going to do a little transfer roundup. Not too much going on, but we did loan Nathan Wicht out to Austria Lustenau. Hopefully he can get some game time there and improve. We also had to find ourselves a second goalkeeper. Kretzmeier is the only goalkeeper on our roster, and he has been performing admirably, so I will be entrusting him the starting role for the time being. However, we did have to find a backup goalkeeper. And I didn't want to spend too much money. There was a few options that I found through the GTN scouting network. One of them being the Freiburg goalkeeper, but he was too expensive. He was northwards of 1.5 million, and I didn't want to spend too much money. I want to really keep this to that realistic feeling where third league German clubs don't spend too much money. 1860 has only spent 20,000 in the last 4 years, so even though I don't want to go to that extreme, I do want to keep this fairly realistic. So I opted for the cheaper option of Dudek from Stalmilec for 615,000. It's still a lot of money for a 19-year-old who's only 56 overall with 70 potential, but it was better than the more expensive option. And this also fulfills our goal to get players younger than 20 years of age. So that was also important and a deciding factor. And to be honest, we would have to give that Freiburg goalie crucial, which would take up a role, and I wasn't ready to do that. We need that role for players later on. So I chose Dudek. You know what? He's not too bad. He can grow into something, and potentially we can make money on this deal. So that's definitely something we have to look at, even though he's maybe slightly overpriced, 57 overall. Okay, so he increased already by 1. That's good. Obviously, he's not the greatest, but this is a club that should be developing talent. So that is how our transfer window looked like. We started off with 1.5 million in budget after spending about 1.9 million on players and paying them 4,800 in wages. We also sold players for nearly 4 million. Most of that was the Healer transfer. Got rid of 7,000 in wages and set up our scouting network for almost 1 million. Our club finance is now increased to 2.7 million, so that's great. Most of this will either get transferred over to next season because I don't foresee any major moves going on in the winter. This will work towards that 5 million profit that we have to make. So that is our final squad for the time being, guys. We inputted them all into the Squad Hub page. Now, this is an optional tool for you to use, but it does help organize everything. You can then sort by position, by overall, by role, by wage, anything you can think of here. There's also role counters on the left-hand side to help you keep track of how many crucial, how many important players you have, how many players in each position, how many development plans you've used so far. So definitely a tool you want to check out. Quickly before we continue here, if you do like this Ruleset, this companion mod, and you want to see it grow with extra content that I am releasing consistently monthly, please consider subscribing to Patreon. I appreciate all the support, guys. In addition, there's a Discord you can join. There's over 100 members already, and it's a great community. Share ideas, talk about football, talk about career mode, share your career modes. There's a number of people sharing their career modes, from big ones like Atletico and Man United to smaller ones like Wrexham and Gillingham. So there's definitely something for you there. Please join. It's a great community. And in addition, I am running a World Cup pool on my Discord, and we'll be able to have some fun with that, predict the results, and the first place and second place of this competition will get a prize. If you've seen any of my giveaways, it'll be very similar to that. Some sort of a monetary reward for whatever platform you're playing on, whether that's PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. And now on to the first game of the episode. As you guys can see, not too much going on in the month of September. Our first game will be against SBVGG at home. This will be a simmed game. As I mentioned, I am going to be simming a number of games, essentially playing exactly half of them once against each opponent. There will be an even split, more or less, between home and away games. So it won't be like, oh, I really need a result in this game. No, the games are predetermined, and we will be playing the ones that I've sort of written down in the fixture list. It looked like we were pretty solid at the back for the most part in the sim, and we got that one important goal from Marcel Baer. It gave us the 1-0 result that we needed and extended our unbeaten run. Our next game will be played away against VfL Osnabrück. They are second in the league table, guys, so it's a really important fixture. If you look at their tactics, they have an extremely high depth, which means they're going to be playing a high line. They stay fairly wide with 70 width offensively, and it's fast build-up forward runs. So they're going to try to exploit those wide areas, especially when our left mid and right mid move up. Now, they also have attacking fullbacks, so they are definitely going to try to overload those areas. You've got a central striker who is more of a team player. He's going to bring everybody in, hold up the ball, and he's going to make sure that the wingers are the primary goal scoring options, and they have northwards of 80 pace, guys. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic between their players getting in behind and our left mid and right mid getting back and trying to defend after also creating chances for ourselves. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. So we started this game, as you would expect, on the front foot, direct passing, and we were getting good chances. Lachenmacher had a lot of chances this game. He squandered a lot of chances this game. But what was evident was what I said in the pregame. Those wingers, you can see him over there on the left-hand side on his bike, ready to attack. Now this time, Dijkman got back and affected the defense, which was great to see. But they kept on attacking. Kretzmeier was busy all of the first half. And that wing play from them was just torching us. As you can see, the midfield doesn't even come to help this time, and Kretzmeier has to bail us out yet again. We were able to put a lid on those dangerous attacks and slowly started to dictate play, quite literally actually. As you can see here, Koller drops deep, as the deep lying playmaker in this formation often does, and he uses his range of passing to initiate attacks. And that's the whole idea, guys. With 1 or 2 passes, bypass multiple lines of the midfield and have creative chances like this one. This was a great one. Unfortunately, it was offside, but we continued to threaten VfL Osnabrück with a number of crosses. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find a breakthrough here in the first half. The second half was a little bit slow to start because there is a balance you need to find between good offensive play, direct football, and not getting countered. So we were trying to figure that out, and we got back our rhythm, and the number of crosses was just insane. This is a one-time for Lachenmacher, who gets to it, but puts it just wide. But we continued attacking VfL Osnabrück, and they just gave us the wide areas, and we exploited it. Dijkman gets on the end of this. Talig is wide open in the box, and what a clever finish from him. He puts us up 1-0, and that has to be contender for goal of the season, because that was a really nice finish. A very acrobatic bicycle kick, scissor kick type goal. A great goal for Talig, and he's popping up in these positions and reaping the rewards in our system. And we just kept attacking VfL Osnabrück. They really didn't have an answer for us for most of the second half. Koller again spreading the ball out wide. Greilinger was just pumping those balls in wide open for Lachenmacher this time. And the amount of chances he squandered this game from decent positions is beyond me. But we got our second goal here, guys. Vrenetzi gets it. He came on as a sub, and he's been playing great after that experiment at striker. I've been playing him there, and he's been popping up. And he's a nimble little player, getting into these little pockets of space, and it's great. We got a third goal here, guys. Lachenmacher just surges into the box with his pace. It's 3-0, and that's effectively the game. There was not much Osnabrück can do now. Again, in the last 10 minutes, up 3-0, we did sort of get complacent. We got sloppy, and Kretzmeier did have to bail us out yet again. Then we tried to play out from the back, but it was cut out. And then they had this one last chance where they put a through ball in, and Kretzmeier had to make another outstanding reflex save. He's been really good. This performance was really good, and it deserved the 3-0 result, guys. All right, so that's another win under our belt, guys, adding to the unbeaten run. Everything is looking good. However, we did pick up an injury to Verlat, so that's 4 weeks without him with a sprained knee. It's next man up, guys. A Reader will be taking his position, playing a ball-playing defender role. Belkaccia will get rotated in for Lang at left center back, and we will be trying Godin at right mid. We continuously look quite dominant in the Sims, guys. And we've gotten 2 goals in this game against Salzburg, one from Talig and one from Lachenmacher. So that gives us another 2-0 win. This is a really bright start to the season, guys. 7 wins and 1 draw, guys, to start the season with only 2 goals conceded. That is a tight ship defensively. I like what I'm seeing here, and it's time to translate that form into the month of October. There's some juicy games coming up. Our first will be a sim against Essen. And we didn't do too badly, but we did find ourselves in hot water a few times this game. Marcel Baer came to the rescue with a goal, and unfortunately the game only ended in a draw, but it does extend our unbeaten run. A quick update on our youth player Baran. We have switched him successfully into a central attacking midfielder and are now training him to be a shadow striker to increase those offensive capabilities. Virlat is coming back from injury only after missing 2 games, but I suspect he won't be able to play in the next game, which is against Wiesbaden at home. They are a very interesting side because they play almost the same as we do. Slight differences tactically because they press after possession loss. They have a balanced chance creation and build-up, but their formation is very similar. They have that one difference because they have a more attacking, central attacking midfielder in the lineup, but their left and right mids are set to come back on defense, getting behind us, so the principles are the same. It'll be interesting to see what happens when 2 teams with similar tactics meet. On the balance of play, we were probably the better side in the first half, but Wiesbaden did take their chances, and they got a half chance here, not even, because there was a defender. But that goal, I mean, he just smashes it into the top corner, guys. And we're down 1-0. I can't even fault the defense because the central defensive midfielder was there, was trying to cover. He just smashed it in. It's a good goal. We had a couple of good chances in this first half. Lachenmacher turns, he shoots, it goes just wide. But we continued to pressure them, and there was some good switches of play happening. Greilinger was especially active, and Talig had a really nice 1-2 with Marcel Baer, and he smashes that in, guys. He's coming into positions and he's scoring goals, tallying up that goals count. So that's great. And we had one more chance right at the end of the half. Marcel Baer gets into a clever position and he tries to finish, but it just goes wide. Wiesbaden came to life in the second half, guys, and for the first about 20-25 minutes, they really pressured us. Kretzmeier had to make a number of saves off of this corner. This was a really dangerous opportunity. It thumps the crossbar, and then another shot was just wide, so we definitely weathered the storm there, and then we had a good opportunity of our own, guys. And I just want to highlight the amount of excellent balls, just excellent balls that Lachenmacher gets and just doesn't convert for whatever reason. And I understand that this time the defender did really well and he got there, and that's great. But the amount of balls he gets and doesn't convert is disturbing. And there was another one here, and they're just pumping them in. Dijkman over here, he stretches, and I know he's not Holland, but come on, get a few of them in at least. Then we have a really good opportunity. Lachenmacher holds up the play well. He gets into a great position, a nice one-touch pass from Macau. He squares it, and it's 2-1, guys. So we did get a goal. We did go in front, and it looked like we were going to have a great game going forward. But then they made quick substitutions, and we really weren't happy with the lead for very long because right after that, a clever ball played in here, and he smashes it short post. Kretzmeier is beat. It's 2-2, and that is unfortunate because I don't like seeing goalkeepers get beat short post. After that, it was anyone's game. There was chances on both sides here, and it could have gone either way. There was a great save here from the Wiesbaden goalkeeper, and then they had a chance of their own. It was all over the place. It was a tennis match right from then. This was cleared, but it was very sloppy, and this could have easily been a goal. Kretzmeier makes a save, and then we had a chance, a golden opportunity, and this one honestly takes the cake. It really does, because this should have been a goal, and Skanderovic really pulled a howler, and then Marcel Baer just pulls a Zaza, and that's it. 2-2, guys. We extend the unbeaten run, but we probably deserved more from this game, so I'm not completely satisfied. Alright guys, so it is mid-October and we do have to start thinking about our contract situations. There's a number of contracts running out, as most players in the third Bundesliga, or at least in our club, have 1 or 2 year contracts. And we can re-sign Marcel Baer because he's a crucial player, and we can re-sign Godin because he's a rotational player. However, Belkahia, Kretzmeier, Dijkman, Talig, and Vine we cannot re-sign because they are important players, and we already have 12 important players, so 2 over the cap of 10. If you are over the cap in my rule set, you cannot re-sign unless that situation resolves itself. So we have to do something about this, which means essentially sell or drop 2 important players. One of them will be Boyamba because he doesn't feature, doesn't really fit the system. And one of the following 3 players will need to either get sold or their contracts will need to be terminated. So we have got Vine, Kobylянski, and Rieder. So I like all those players for the different things they can offer, but we will have to determine which player will be leaving the club. But now we're moving on to our next game. It's a simmed one against Freiburg, and again, solid defensively from us. Vrenetzi coming up with another key goal, and we get another win under the belt. Guys, I wonder how long this unbeaten run goes. It's 11 games into the season, guys, and we are just flying. And our next game here is against second place Dynamo Dresden, so this is going to be a banger of a game. Their tactics are set up with direct passing and long balls, but if you look at their formation, it's similar to what Atletico Madrid plays, and in theory, this should be set up in a way where those left mid and right mid players come back and make a bank of 5 at the back, but it's going to be interesting to see how this works, because in their setup, they've got essentially long balls, which means their striker should be a target man, and that's what he's set at. But he's not really a target man. He doesn't have the strength for it. He doesn't have the short passing to link people into play. So this is a potential weakness. If we get tight to him and if our CBs are aggressive, we can take advantage of this. And their right mid, who's supposed to be coming back on defense, is not defensively great. First of all, he doesn't have the stamina to run up and down. Second of all, he doesn't have the defensive awareness. It is crap. 31. So this is definitely 2 things that we can exploit. If we can make sure that we attack down our left-hand side and always stay aggressive, I feel like we have a great chance of winning this game. Dynamo Dresden is a good side, guys. They are dangerous, and they were certainly the better team early on here. They had a few good chances. Kretzmeier had to be on point this game. We tried to get something going, but honestly, they were pretty good defensively. They were shutting us down, and probably the best chance that I was able to generate in this first half with this one, and it really wasn't good. Greilinger comes into the middle. It's a tame shot. That really was it. But we were pretty good defensively ourselves. We didn't let them have too much joy. The defensive line was good. As you can see here, it's pretty much in line. The central defensive midfielder is making sure that the guy outside the box is covered. He gets the ball. We try to launch a counter, and the Dynamo player brings us down. He gets a second yellow, and he's sent off. And I'm thinking, okay, this changes the complexion of the game. We can now send a little bit more players forward and try to break them down. But to end off the first half, it was Dynamo Dresden with the more intelligent and dangerous opportunity here. They get a really, really golden chance, but Kretzmeier comes up with a top save. We made a few offensive substitutions to start the second half, and we started to really suffocate Dynamo Dresden and start to put on pressure and get decent opportunities here. They were really good, guys. Lachenmacher gets a great save from the goalkeeper. Fantastic reflex save. But we continue to put on pressure, guys. And there was a number of crosses, again, to Lachenmacher, who just couldn't put the finishing touch on it. It was so sad to see. And then eventually in the like 67th, 68th minute, totally against the run of play, we get the ball back here, but we give it away so cheaply. Gogya gets it on the right-hand side here, and he just buys this. He wins this penalty, and all of a sudden, Kretzmeier is forced to make a wonderful save, guys, and it is still 0-0, and that just fueled the fire for me, because I'm like, all right, now we're gonna get him. And we just continued pressuring them. Lachenmacher latching onto everything he can, but he just could not finish for the life of him. He was missing his finishing boots. And we even went to an attacking game plan. We pressured them, press after possession loss, and it worked, guys. In the last minute, it worked. We got the ball back. It was a clever pass in for Lachenmacher, and he skies it. He skies it, and this ends 0-0, guys. And that is disappointing because on the balance of play, Dresden were perhaps the better side early on, but they got a red, and we should have converted. We should have gotten a win here, and we didn't. And now we move into the month of November, guys. Our final games of the episode will be against Waldhof away and Meppen at home. But everything is looking great. Board confidence is high. We are flying, unbeaten in the league. And honestly, I'm taking bets on how long this is going to last. Can we get invincibles this season? I mean, that's what it's looking like. We are 4 points atop the league table, flying. And now we have our game here against Waldhof. So we started this game off against Waldhof pretty positively. We had a good chance early on. Verenetzi gets it. He gets his shot blocked, and Knofrel had a good chance to get his first goal of the season. He's rotating in, but he hits the post. That was unlucky. After that, Waldhof took the initiative, and they were playing really weirdly. It was, I can't explain it. It was these weird, either very long balls or just these clever little back heels, these passes that you really don't expect. And Dudek was in net. He was rotating in, and he had to make a few good saves. And you know what? For a 57 overall, he's not bad. Like, he made some pretty good saves. He was solid all around. Okay, nothing too special there, but he was tested a few times, and I didn't have any problems with him. Honestly, he can develop into a decent player, I think. Dudek was called upon again in the second half to make a really good save, so he was keeping things out. But we were frustratingly trying to create chances, and there was few to come by. There was this one really good one. Lannert surges into the box. Lachenmacher should have put a foot onto it, but he didn't. And it was just frustrating to garner any sort of opportunities. And Waldhof were playing off the counter from then on, and it was a shambolic piece of defending here, and you'll see why twice. First of all, that guy shouldn't have got beaten. Second of all, Lang, what is that touch? You cannot take a touch like that. You need to clear the danger, and he doesn't. And it's two pieces of errors. All of a sudden, Waldhof is up 1-0. And the way this game was going, I didn't feel confident I can score. I don't know. Maybe it was because of the way they were defending, but there were really few chances to come by. There was one for Lachenmacher. He stretches, and he doesn't get into the back of the net. I feel like I say that a few times every episode. But here we go with another chance, and this time we get our shots blocked, which was a common theme yet again, because Waldhof were setting way deep, and they blocked everything late on. But they try to get it out. We have the game plan at attacking. We press after possession loss. Verenetzi gets it, and he saves us in the very last minute of the game. The game plan worked. Press after possession loss as an attacking game plan for this formation is a must, because when you are down or when you're trying to get in front, it really does do wonders. And we were finally able to get a goal and rescue a result here, guys. Rescue our unbeaten run. So for those people who did bet on how long this is going to be, well, we extended it by one game right there. Okay, there's a little bit too many draws for my liking. We definitely need to turn some of these draws into wins, but nonetheless, we still are undefeated, guys, in 13 games to start the season. So definitely leave your bets on how long this can last. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, guys, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and join me for this last game of the episode against Meppen. The commentator for this game is yours truly, Buzzko. Welcome everybody to the Grunwalder Stadion for the game against 1860 Munich and SV Meppen. The hosts have been on an impressive run of form, continuing their unbeaten run. However, they have faltered, drawing 4 out of the last 5 games, and their manager has been on record saying that he wants his team to play slightly more offensive football to try to change these draws into wins. So 1860 Munich will definitely be looking to get a result here at home against Meppen. It will be interesting to see if the players react to the manager's plea to play more offensive, expansive football. They have a good opportunity to do it here with Greilinger on the wing, but he shies away with it. It's patient build-up so far from 1860. Lachenmacher lays it off. Can Talig have a go? And he does have a go! It's 1-0 in the 6th minute. Talig puts his foot through and hammers one into the top corner. That is an instant response to the manager's plea for more offensive football. They get it in. A good piece of link-up play here from Lachenmacher. Talig gets it just inside the box, and he powers it home. The question now is, can 1860 continue to apply pressure and get some more goals? It's a good pass into the middle for Bear. He lets Lachenmacher loose. He surges into the box. It's a shot, but that's a pretty straightforward save from the goalkeeper. And it will be another attacking opportunity for 1860 Munich. They have been pressuring here early on. It's blocked by the Meppen defenders, but they have been applying an immense amount of pressure. Dijkman gets it out wide here. He puts in a cross. Bear is there, and it's in. 2-0. What a goal from Marcel Bear, and what a start to this game from 1860 Munich. He finds himself wide open in the box. It's shambolic defending, to be fair, from the Meppen defenders. Bear places this header, but it's right beside the goalkeeper. You have to say he made a real hash out of that, but 1860 will take it. They are up 2-0, and a great start for them. And they cut that opportunity out as well. Meppen has had nothing coming. They really can't get it going, and 1860 has taken the manager's word to heart. They are attacking with numbers and with conviction. Dijkman has the ball here. Oh, that's a clever pass in for McCowett. Squares it for Lachenmacher, and it's 3-0. 3-0 1860 in the first half, and Meppen is just on its knees. What a great piece of play. First from Dijkman to get that pass in from McCowett, and then Lachenmacher. But this was again straight at the goalkeeper. That was a howler, but you can see what it means to the manager. Great stuff from 1860 so far. This has been a shambolic display from the visiting side. As much as 1860 deserves credit for their play, it is Meppen who has led them into this game. And now it's Greilinger out on the wing. He's surging into the box. This can get worse. It's Lachenmacher, and it is worse. It's 4-0. 4-0 for 1860 Munich. And that was an appalling piece of defending from the Meppen players. They are asleep at the wheel. This game is all but over. 4-0 in the first half. A cool, calm, collected finish for Lachenmacher. And it's game, set, match. The home side has led off the gas here in the second half, but I just do not see Meppen coming back and even having a chance in this game. Marcel Bear, on the other hand, gets it. It's Lachenmacher, and that's over the bar. It's Meppen now initiating an attack. They haven't had one shot on net this entire game. Perhaps this is their chance. A nice little clever back heel. And it's Kretzmeier with the save. And that will do it. 4-0 for the hosts. The manager applauds the performance. It's been a great bounce-back win for 1860. Something their fans will surely enjoy. And from the Grunwalder Stadion, signing off is your commentator, Buzzko. Laters!